Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we're going to be talking about Argylle. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. This is from Matthew Vaughn, or I'm sorry, The Twisted Mind of Matthew Vaughn. Just had to add that. Yeah, this is a Matthew Vaughn flick. He's made quite a few movies, quite a few notable movies. I mean, he started with like Layer Cake back in like 2005, a movie that no one watched, but it did star a pre James Bond Daniel Craig. So there's that little fun fact for you. And then Stardust, a movie that existed, but after that, things got really interesting. So then he made Kick Ass, and that movie apparently when it came out, it had like a lot of hype surrounding it, a lot of online hype. And when it came out, people really enjoyed it. I mean, I watched it, I love it, I think it's a great movie. But the thing is, the movie did okay financially, but the problem was hype. The hype was too much. Like it That online hype set up like false expectations when it came to its box office, and people labeled its box office as a disappointment, even though it really isn't. But that's just the curse of high expectations for you. But still, Kick-Ass, great movie. The sequel, not so great. Matthew Vaughn didn't make that movie, he just produced it. But yeah, Kick-Ass, that was the first movie that really helped Matthew Vaughn build his fan base. And the next movie to do that was X-Men First Class. And another fun fact for you. This was not supposed to be Matthew Vaughn's first X-Men movie. His first one was supposed to be X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men 3. That was the plan, but it didn't work out for many reasons. And yeah, but First Class ended up being his first X-Men movie. And when it came out, I mean, X-Men, those movies were in a bad place. I mean, you had X-Men 1 and 2, which were really good. And then everything went downhill after that. X-Men 3 was considered to be super mid. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's an okay-ish movie. X-Men Origins Wolverine is anything but okay. That movie's a disaster. So X-Men was in a very dark place. But First Class ended up exceeding expectations, ended up being really good, and pretty much saved the franchise for a time until it died. It died a horrible death with Dark Phoenix, but we don't need to talk about that. Then after that, Kingsman: The Secret Service, his biggest hit. And the thing is, like, going into it, like, the trailers kind of undersold the movie, kind of just made it like another spy movie, a little generic. But the movie itself is like hella fun. Like, it's a great flick. You're gonna like if you want to have a really good time, like Kingsman: The Secret Service, like that's a good movie to watch. If you want to just have a blast, because that movie is really really good. It's definitely an audience favorite. And so yeah, I mean, Kick Ass, First Class, and Kingsman, those three movies really, gave Matthew Vaughn a fan base. And his next few movies after that will just Kingsman movies. They weren't that good. I mean, The Golden Circle, I can't tell you a single thing what happens in that movie. I watched it like one time, and even after watching it, I completely forgot what even happened. So it's not good. And The Kingsman, I didn't watch that, and no one else did either. So, yeah. Yeah, but Matthew Vaughn, he's made some good movies, some really good movies. So he has a bit of a fan base, which is why they're like marketing it like this, the twisted mind of Matthew Vaughn. So yeah, I'd say Matthew Vaughn's name is more or less a pro. I guess it's kind of a minor pro, a soft pro. So I'm just gonna label that as a pro. Matthew Vaughn's name. Another pro is the cast for this movie. The cast is pretty impressive. You got some notable names in here. I mean, you got Henry Cavill. Okay. Here's the thing about Henry Cavill. he's Argyle. This is like the fictional, well, at what you would think is the fictional like agent in like these books that the Ellie, or Bryce Dallas Howard's character, writes. But like in the marketing, you would think that Henry Cavill's the main character. Even one of the posters, he's like in the center, like front and center on that poster. You think he's the main character, but apparently he's barely in the movie. He's in there for like 5 minutes, from what I've heard. So the fact that they did that, like, one could make the argument that that is false advertising, but yeah, but he's still in there, just not, not really, but he's still a face in the movie. So you got like Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston. You got John Cena, Samuel L. Jackson. So yeah, you got Arena Dubois. Where have I seen her before? Anything like, well, nothing like super noteworthy here. Oh, she's gonna be in Craven. Oh, that's great. Hell yeah. Yes, I'm gonna see Craven the Hunter. I know that's a terrible idea. I'm well aware of that, but that movie looks like the perfect kind of bad for me. But anywho, yeah, the cast for this is pretty strong. I mean, you got some very notable names in here, some fan favorites, definitely. I mean, when it comes to like drawing power, it's not that great, like in on an individual level, but if you combine them all together, it makes for like a very appealing package. I've said this many times when it comes to like ensemble movies. Like if you have a bunch of names together, it just looks more appealing. You're less reliant on like one person. So yeah, I'd say the cast is definitely a pro. So that's pro number two. Pro number three, man, the box office, the market, it's been so depressing. Holy shit. There's been nothing, nothing since fucking Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, like with Mean Girls and Beekeeper. There's been nothing since then. It's been a ghost town. There's been nothing to talk about. I know there's that ISS movement. No one even cared about that, and there was literally nothing last weekend. That's why I didn't make anything last weekend, and it felt really good to not worry about making a prediction video for the weekend. So yeah, it's been rough, real rough. So, and this is the first like major movie or major-ish movie to come out in quite some time. So, yeah, I'd say that's a pro. It helps, elevate this movie a little bit. So, yeah, the fact that there's been like no event movies, like in this, no big-ish movies in the slightest in the last few weeks, that definitely makes this movie a little more appealing. So, yeah, I'm gonna label that as a pro. Another pro is a direct competition. What direct competition? I mean, you got Beekeeper, but that movie's literally entering its fourth weekend. Like, it's old news. And there won't be, like, any action movies until Madam Web, I guess. I mean, there's that, and after that, there's, like, Dune Part 2. But, yeah, there won't be any action movies till, like, for a few weeks. But for right now, there's zero direct competition besides Beekeeper. But again, it's super old. So yeah, I'm gonna label that as a pro. Lack of extreme competition. Lack of like serious competition, really. Um any other pros? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Cons. Oof. Reaction for this movie is not good. Not good in the slightest. It's quite bad actually, in terms of like critics and audiences. Its critic score is at 35%, which is pretty rough. Its audience score is at 65%, which is real bad. Like, you do not want your audience score to be that low. You should have that be like in the 90s or the high 80s at least. A 65% shows that the movie is considered like the audience sees it as hella mid. and Cinema Score says the exact same thing. It has a C plus. A C plus for a movie like this is horrible. That is horrible. That is a sign that this movie is not going to have a long life at all. The word of mouth is just anything but ideal. So, yeah, critic score, audience score, cinema score, they're all bad. So, word of mouth is kaput. It is just not happening. No one likes this movie. So, yeah, I'm gonna label that as a big old con. And I pretty much like affected my well, it pretty much changed. Ugh, my it's too late for me to be doing this. Like I had my train of thought kind of collapsed. But yeah, like those scores pretty much made me go, nah, I don't think I'm gonna watch this because I was interested in this because I like Matthew Vaughn's movies. I like Kick Ass. I like X-Men First Class. I really like Kingsman. So I thought this could be, not maybe not a great movie, but at least a decent enough movie. But then I heard about it, saw those reviews, and I'm like, yeah, no thanks. I'm staying home. I'm staying home. I'm pretty sure most people are going to do the same thing. But yeah, like those scores, awful. So that's a con. Another con is this Thursday preview, which I thought was really, really underwhelming. 1.7 million Thursday night. That's just not good at all. I mean, for comparison's sake, like Beekeeper, okay, came out only a few weeks ago. Let's look at that movie's preview number just for a comparison's sake. How did that do? Let's see. 2.4 million. So, as you can see, this is not a good sign for Argylle. And Beekeeper only opened with like 16.5 million. So that's really not a good sign for Argylle. um, yeah, I thought it would do better. I mean, it's better than Expendables. It did better than that, but is that really an accomplishment? I mean, that opened at like 750K. So it's better than that, but still, it's very much not good. Especially considering like this, like it's like a Matthew Vaughn flick. You think this would have a bit more of a boost because it was like his name and his fan base, but nah, nah. So yeah, weak Thursday night preview. I'm gonna label that as a con. Um, I guess another or any other cons. I already mentioned like the main two being like reactions and uh shoot the weak Thursday previews. I don't know. There isn't like a whole lot to say about this movie really. I already mentioned the false advertising of Henry Cavill, making him seem like he's the main character when he's very much not. Um, but I don't. I think that's really it. Well, I guess I can mention, maybe I guess as a very, very, very minor pro. Cat people. The movie has a cat front and center in this bag. Maybe that might appeal to people because people like cats, unless you're allergic. But people like cats, and they like cats in movies. So maybe this could appeal to that group. I doubt it, but it's something, I guess. Can you tell I'm really like grasping for straws talking about this movie? Um, but yeah, I think that's really it. That's all I can really discuss. So, opening weekend. Before this weekend, I thought this had the potential to open in like 20, 25 mil. That's what I thought. That is not happening anymore. Nope. 15 million seems like a stretch, honestly. So I'm gonna go 10 to 15 million opening weekend. Oh, I guess I can mention another pro. I mean, this movie has advertising, so it's there. I mean, people know it exists. It's just that people don't want to see it. They took one look at those reviews and walked the other way. But yeah, 10 to 15 million opening weekend. And it's total, judging by word of mouth, this movie's not going to have good legs. I don't see that happening at all. I'm going to say 20 to 30 million, somewhere in that range. That's where I see it, 20 to 30 million, which looks terrible in comparison to like the Kingsman movies, First Class, Kick Ass, especially considering this movie cost 200 million budget, but this is from Apple, like, so they don't really care about box office very much. That's not that's not the goal. The goal is to basically have these movies in theaters, basically be big old PR campaigns, so that way, when they go to Apple TV Plus, it'll be like a big deal, supposedly. Like that's the game plan with these Apple movies. So really, its box office doesn't matter, but it still doesn't look good for headlines. It looks hella bad for headlines. So yeah. Yeah, so that's Argyle, and I got one more movie to talk about. I thought it would just be one, but no. Apparently, I also have to do Scrambled, so that'll come out after this. I'm not doing The Chosen at all. I feel like that would just be a waste of time. And so, but I will talk about it when I make my February recap. But not, I'm not gonna do any predictions for that. I might as well mention next weekend. Actually, I might as well mention the rest of the month because there's not a whole lot down the pipeline. Next weekend, I do Lisa Frankenstein and Turning Red, another Pixar movie. That will finally get a theatrical release when it was doomed to be doomed to be put on Disney Plus. And then after that, on a Wednesday, I get to do two movies because it's gonna be Valentine's Day: Bob Marley, One Love, and Madam Web. I cannot wait to talk about Madam Web. That movie looks like a dumpster fire in like the best way. And then the end of February gets real interesting. You got another Demon Slayer movie, or at least a compilation of episodes, Drive-Away Dolls, Ordinary Angels, and a re-release of Tenet. I don't think I'm going to be talking about that. That feels like that's kind of a waste of time. So I'm probably not going to discuss that. Because I already made a prediction video for that, like way back in 2020. But yeah, that's the rest of February. So stay tuned for all those future videos. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage, all previous prediction videos I made this year or any other years I've been doing this. You can go right ahead, watch them all. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I've done 230 episodes of canceled. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have. Ugh, and I have to like, I'm trying to look it up to make sure, but my laptop is being hella sluggish, and that's not good. um, what's going on? Is YouTube like, did it crash? Probably did. As I'm recording this, that's always fun. Yeah, but I made 230 episodes. With the four movies I talked about, there was like, just exit page. Ugh. I was experiencing technical difficulties off screen. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, thank God. Okay, so the last cancel episode I made was 230. And I talked about Dog Man, Blink Twice, Monkey Man, and Piece by Piece. Those are the four movies I discussed for that episode. And so that was the last one I did. If you want to watch any of the other ones I've done on the channel, you got plenty to choose from, 230. So you want to watch them all, binge them all, from beginning to now. Highly encourage you to do that, so go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. Next week, I do my January recap. That will not be a very long video, at least compared to my other recaps. Then my February recap, that won't be till I guess after Dune Part 2, after that movie's opening weekend. So pretty much the first week of March. So stay tuned for that as well. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.